What's up guys, how you all doing? Sandeep, Ramesh here. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is day 2 of Into the Hills with T.R.I.B.E. I hope you've seen day 1 of the episode which is premiered on Sunday. Very encouraging comments that I've got. Brings me back memories of this ride which was almost a month back, right? I mean, brilliant journey, brilliant twisties, and of course the company. So anyway, talking about this vlog, right? Now unfortunately, because of my work commitments, I was not able to explore like how my gang at T.R.I.B.E did. However, when the boys came back and they told me the story, I was like, I have to create a special vlog about this, right? So this is how the day is going to unfold, right? So at around 5:45, 6, Sumant, Maz, DJ and Rishi along with Sandeep Anand head towards the outskirts of Ooty, I think somewhere near Pine Forest and surrounding areas, to explore the off-road locations, right? So meanwhile, Dilip had started from Bengaluru at around 4:45, and Arjun decided to stay back because the day was planned in such a way that there will be 2 off-roading trails, one in the morning, a short one, where these guys would go eventually. And Innandu, it's about, from Ooty towards Masinagudi, down the hill, but off-road location, not the tarmac. So that was the plan, right? However, the stories that I've heard made me go bonkers. These guys started around 5:36, bari need itkonidare. And of course, a lot of oxygen, abundance and plenty that's available. So yenu tonogilla, and they came actually face to face with politicians in the middle of the forest. I don't know what they were doing, but I know for sure what my guys were doing. And some of them dropped dead because of fatigue and no breakfast. And DJ lost his phone while trying to locate a way out, and probably after 1.5 hours search ಮಾಡಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಫೋನ್ ವಾಪಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. I mean, ಇದು ರೋಡಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಚಾನ್ಸೇ ಇರ್ತಿರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಫೋನ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರೋ. ಬಟ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್, he was able to locate it, right? And also another fascinating thing is that special delivery boys, Arjun, and when eventually Dilip reached Ooty and they went actually to meet this gang to supply breakfast, if I may. Top box all tondadro, top box ella full sambar ella agbiಡ್ತು. Crazy stories. So without much ado, let me narrate you the story that's happened. So there's total of around 10 hours of off-roading that these guys have done in March, and that is peak summer in Bangalore, or the onset of summer in Bengaluru. But in Ooty, because of the prevailing conditions, I think it was okay for them to do, right? But before we start the vlog, let me start with what actually happened 10-11 hours after these guys came back from trail. Check it out.
ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೆವೆಂತಾಗೂ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ನಾನು. ಓಕೆ, ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅ ಮಂಕಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಬಟ್ ದೆನ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ I wanted to say tomorrow because Monday is not available. ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು ನನಗೆ, right?
Sumant, Sandeep, Maz and DJ. All of these 4 guys started their journey towards hitting the trails, and of course along with Rishi, who had joined us the previous night. All of them started the journey between 5:45 and 6, and they were all set to discover the trails. However, none of them had breakfast, which in ideal scenario, right, in sometimes in the month of March, would be very difficult to do off-roading about half an hour into the trails. However, given the serene surroundings and the cool climate that Ooty has to offer, they were able to sustain for a while. While all of this happening, Dilip had just started from Bengaluru at around 4:45 am, and he was all set to reach the place where we were at around 10ish or 10:30ish. So all of these guys rode on the tarmac. They just rode and rode and rode until they discovered the route to the trails. So usually how this works is, how we discover the trails, be it near Bengaluru or near Ooty, well, let's keep that a secret. But the guys rode and rode, like I said earlier, and it was already inching towards 9 am before they discovered the trails. Meanwhile, owing to my health issues the previous day and the extended work hours, I woke up at 9 o'clock and I look around, nobody was there, because the plan was that these guys would do the trail from let's say around 6 to 9, and there was another trail which was supposed to start at around 10:30, which again I had to give a miss because of my work commitments. So Arjun decided to stay back and start for the 10 o'clock trail. And to my amusement, Arjun alone was in the house that we stayed in. And that's when Dilip reached Ooty, where we were at, and the reunion of sorts became a little bigger. At around 10:30, we decided to have breakfast, and at the same time, we called and checked with the gang whether did they have breakfast. But guess what? They were in the middle of the woods, nothing to eat. They stayed alive with lots of water and the free oxygen that was available in its purest form. So Arjun, Dilip, and we headed towards the city center to have breakfast, where we found, I think, A to B. We had healthy breakfast, and for the rest of the gang, Arjun and Dilip took parcels, and all of the gang, that is Sumant, Maz, Sandeep, Anand and DJ, had sent their live location, and these two folks, that is Dilip and Arjun, were supposed to meet the rest of the gang along with Rishi at one particular place. Sounds easy, right? Well, hang on. Well, the visuals that you're looking at, it reminds me of this Tom Cruise movie, Jack Reacher. Except here, there's no Tom Cruise, yet there's no this hot lawyer that we've all seen in the movie. So these guys eventually reached a dead end, and they were trying to figure out where they were supposed to go. Well, let me show you the faces of my dear gang at T.R.I.B.E, that is Sandeep, Anand, Maz, Sumant, DJ and Rishi. This is how they are. So it's about noontime, and unfortunately the gang of five, that is Sumant, Rishi, DJ, Sandeep, Anand and Maz, none of them have had anything to eat so far. Meanwhile, our delivery boys in the name of Dilip and Arjun, they are still to figure out where our boys are exactly at. So at this point of time, neither of the two parties have access to calls because of poor connectivity or no signal, right? So meanwhile, what happens? DJ tries to get around and try to get a phone signal, and he rides for some time. And when he does that, he later realizes that he doesn't have his phone. So these are the exact trails where he lost his phone. And about 90 minutes later, he gets his phone back. And thankfully, because this was a forest, he was able to retrieve it. Eventually, after much anticipation, the two gangs meet, and Dilip and Arjun share the food that they have in the form of parcel. However, Dilip's top box has become a sambar top box because of the liquid which had spilled all over. Somehow, these guys had breakfast because it was dire straits. And after they did, a couple of guys came back, right? That is DJ, Maz, and Sandeep Anand came back, whereas Sumant Anand and Rishi continued towards the second trail, keeping in mind the adrenaline or the lakshya that they had in mind that they wanted to achieve. With these two guys, Dilip and Arjun joined the gang as well, and they further continued the trails. So, these were the kind of trails where the boys spent most of the day. And now you know why the first visuals that I showed was everybody was drop dead. Well, some of them, right? While I was happily working, typing my keyboard, away to glory. This was such a fun-filled episode for me to actually listen to the story and in turn narrate it to you. I hope you like this new experience. So, coming up next is day 3, where the king arrives to the place where we are at, and he will take us to Kinnakurai. And from what we hear, the route from Ooty to Kinnakurai is a dense forest, plenty of twisties, and a lot of action that's coming up in day 3 of the episode. So stay tuned, stay locked for that episode to be unveiled. Take care, stay safe until then, and hey, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And if you have, and if you would, hit the bell icon to stay notified on all such episodes filled with fun, drama, adventure, frolic, name it, you will see it. Take care. Cheers.